There we go. Okay. So we're going to start applying these practices now with certain meditations. So in Qigong, we've done some Taoist meditations, which sort of go right along with the Qigong and the Nikong. And what we'll do is we'll stand and move, and we'll loosen up and get our energy flowing and get real grounded and so on. And then we'll go into stillness, and then we'll go into some Qigong. We're moving the chi inside the body, moving the awareness inside the body. And then once we sort of establish this field that we're going to, our meditation field, tonight we're going to do a metta meditation. Okay, so a metta meditation was taught by the Buddha 2,600 years ago or so. And the story behind it is that some of the monastics would go off into the jungle and sit by a tree and meditate. And at night, it was scary out there, and they were afraid of, being eaten or harmed in some way. And they came back to the Buddha and said, "What can you give us a practice to do to counter the fear that we're feeling, sort of this anxiety, this obstruction on their path, or their meditation path?" So the Buddha said, "Sure. What you do is you start out and you meditate and you wish yourself well." And you do that for a while, and then you think of someone you love, or a good friend or someone, and you wish them well. And you do that for a while, and then you think of a neutral person, and you wish them well. And then you go into someone you have someone who's a challenge for you, who's someone you don't like or you have a problem with in some way, and you wish them well. And then you wish everybody everybody in your state, and then everybody in your country, and everyone in the world, and then all beings. And if you do this metta practice, metta means loving kindness in Pali. If you do these metta practices, that will relieve your fear, because it'll take away your sense of separate self and substitute this sense of a very big self, and living in a world of goodwill. So in the meditations in Taoist practice and Qigong are mostly visualizations. Okay, they're not so much in words. The way metta has been taught mostly in the Buddhist tradition is in words. You say words. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. I encourage you, though, to use visualization to extend your loving kindness to other people, and we'll go through that, how to do that. But rather than bringing the words in through the intellect, the imagery, I think, comes into consciousness at a kind of a deeper level than the words do a lot of times. I mean, imagery is, it's of the imagination, which is kind of, I think, a deeper level of mind than the intellect that's processing language. So that's going to be the practice tonight. And any questions about any of that? I think anyone not familiar with metta practice? That's what I thought. It's a pretty common Buddhist meditation practice, but I think if we do this after getting, doing all the Qigong and preparing for it, and try doing it with imagery, and you'll see how that is for you in what is a familiar practice. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. I'll put this on speaker. But when you start your practice at home, you know, pick any of these movements, or whatever you want to do to just bring the body and mind and the breath together. So you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, because you've all done this for a while. Um, but these are common sort of beginning um, practices. So we want to be aware of body, breath, and mind. By moving the body, what brings our awareness into it. And the breath, we bring our awareness inside the body. That's where we feel the breath. We can feel the movements kind of, on the skin, or, on the hands and muscles and so on. The breath we're feeling deep in our core. The movement of the breath, I should say. So when we're feeling body, we're feeling the body moving. When we're feeling a breath, putting our attention to breath, we're focusing a little more deeply internally. And then the mind is what we're focusing with. That's what we're using. So, and then once we're aware of the body, breath, and mind, we're doing this practice. Then there's this bigger awareness, where we're creating these sensations and receiving them at the same time. And then there's awareness that's both creating and receiving our experience. Thich Nhat Hanh calls that mindfulness. The Zen people call it something like awareness. Okay, so just to reiterate, so we're feeling the body moving. So that's body. And we're feeling the breath moving inside the body. That's breath. And then the mind is what's focusing on this and what's driving it all. And then the awareness is sort of the space, in a sense, in which all three of these are exist. Okay. Okay, and that's then eventually whatever movements you're doing, you'll segue into stillness. We're still aware of body, breath, and mind. It's just the body is now still. The breath is internal, it's moving. The mind is engaged with these. And now perhaps we can sense the chi, the energy, which is most easily detected as tingling and heat. So body, breath, and mind, and when all three are in balance, then we're really aware of this energy in the body, our life force energy, our liveliness, that becomes clear. Okay. So there's this vibrating body. Okay. Let's go ahead and bow to the directions tonight. So facing whichever way you're facing, it's not particular. I'm facing east. So bow. Okay, body, breath, and mind are all doing this. So there's an in breath. And then when we bow, that's an out breath. In breath when we come up, and then an out breath. Turning again. So in breath, and then bowing with the out breath. And turning again. And then back to our first direction. And now if you just pause for a moment, what we did is we bowed to your front, we bowed to your right, we bowed to behind you, and we bowed to the left. And now we're bowing, and now we're standing facing front again. And so that kind of brings the left, right, and behind us into our awareness, as well as the front. We're always aware of the front, but now we brought in those other ones. Okay. And now going up, so dipping the knees, stretch and point. So up and down. And coming back up and then within. But now we're feeling the breath again. And you can even allow your hands to move away from the torso slightly with the in-breath. And then back toward the torso slightly with the out-breath. And by using our hands, we're able to bring more attention to the breath because we have a lot of nerves in our hands. And so the heart and the belly then resonate as they move. Okay, very good. All right. Okay, let's do the 3 backwash and tree and spring, sort of at your own pace. And then when you're done, go ahead and begin to loosen the head and neck. So bringing the attention to the crown of the head and then kind of caving in. Then the attention goes down the spine. And so whenever you're finished, just let's go ahead and start at the top of the body and loosen up the neck muscles, upper spine. And then that'll just naturally move to the shoulders. And you can do them together or opposite each other. We store a lot of tension in our shoulders. And this practice is really, I find it very useful to do this during the day from time to time. It just seems like every time I do this, I take a deep breath involuntarily and just kind of release the tension that's in the shoulders. Maybe you have tension stored there, maybe not so much, but um, my body seems to do that. So throughout the day, sometimes I'll just do these circling the shoulders, and it really makes a difference to how relaxed I am. Okay, and then moving down, so then opening the chest. So this is with the breath. And then initially, this is taught, you breathe out when you fold down, and when you open up, you breathe in. And that's how it's initially taught. But it's fine to reverse it. What's important is moving with the breath. Whether it's an in breath or an out breath, you can feel that whichever feels right to you for any given movement. But the breath awareness is what's important. And so you can do an in breath and an out breath sort of with each movement, or you can do it much more slowly and do an in and an out for each one as slowly as you want to. But just so you're moving in rhythm with the breathing. In fact, you might try breathing the other way and just see how that is. If you naturally are breathing one way, then just try it the other way and see how that is. Ken Cohen, who's a Taoist master, calls this reverse breathing. Okay, very good. All right, and then moving down, we want to keep the hips flexible. So you can do rocking the pelvis, or you can go right to the circle. Um, it's taught rocking first because it's simpler. But if you have that down, um, that's fine. You can do it. But if you have it down, you can go to the circling, which engages more more of the body. They're both good, but circling actually engages the, the knees, the thighs, and the upper body as well. Where rocking the pelvis is pretty much just isolating that in the hips. Okay, very good. And now let's go into the balancing. And again, this is the way that it's initially taught, is this playing the piano position. This is just for balance. So, as you shift the weight and you get all the weight on one foot, and then just lift the heel. And so this is fine. This is the first stage. Just lift the heel so that your toe is still touching. And then when you're ready, then you can lift the foot off the ground. So if you've done this a lot, you can just go ahead and, shift and then just lift the foot. If you don't feel real steady, keep your toe on the ground. That's fine. And then after that, you can engage the hands if you want. This is a kick. This is a Tai Chi kick. This is golden pheasant stands on one leg. This is a Tai Chi movement too. So this is it just gives the rest of the body something to do. But the main thing is balance. It's just really, if you do this once a week, it's all you need to do. It really improves the balance. And if you stand up to put on your socks or your slippers and to take them off, that counts. That's if you do that every day. I've done that every day for decades, and that's a balance exercise. It doesn't take any extra time. And my sister, who is a very well-known martial arts instructor, says that actually as you age, your balance can actually improve. Your strength tends to decrease, your quickness, your reaction time, but your balance can actually improve if you do these practices. So the arm thing, that just makes it fun. And then if you really want to, if you want to work on this a little more, if you really want to improve your balance, then you want to hold some of these postures for a few seconds or more. And that'll really accelerate the benefit. Okay, all right, very good. Another good sort of opening at Qigong is cloud hands. Excuse me. And so there's two ways to do this at least. And if you start first with the palms facing heaven and earth, we want to keep them at the center of the body. And this is opposite the heart, opposite the belly. And then now we turn, switch, turn, switch. Okay. So keeping them at the center and turning the waist. It's just a very graceful movement. And what it's doing, according to the ancients, the palms are often in art are depicted with an eye in each palm. So one eye is looking up at the heavens, the universe, sky. The other one's looking down at the earth. And so they're focusing attention upward and downward. And then they switch. So they're balancing heaven and earth, yin and yang, balancing left and right. It's bringing the whole system into balance. So that's the first part of it. And then the second part, you can switch this as you're doing, go in the direction of the upper hand. Now the palms face each other, same movement. So now we're circulating the energy. It's not between heaven and earth, it's within the body. Heaven and earth within the body. Left becomes right, right becomes left. And then this can be very expressive if you want to do this bigger. You can go ahead and move the hands once you get, once you get it going. Now you're dealing with the space around the body. So the heaven and earth, the first part, that's your vertical axis. The second part, that's your internal microcosmic orbit. This one is we're dealing with the space around the body. So the body kind of gets bigger because we're aware of not only inside the body and the surface of the body, we're aware of the area around the body. And you can do this faster if you want to. You don't have to do it real slowly. Once you're familiar with it, once you feel it, the chi swirling around the body. Okay, very good. Now let's reduce the movements now. So we're bringing our attention back into the interior of the body. Okay, and then reduce the movements. Very good. And then we're going to end up with one hand in front of the middle dantian, the other in front of the lower. Okay, now we'll move the attention internally. So this is Qigong. We'll start with the upper hand, point toward the body. That focus our attention inside the body. In breath, out breath. Other hand, in breath, out breath. Repeat. So we're moving the attention up the inside of the spine. That's what we're pointing to as we go up. And then as we go down, we're moving it to the inside front of the body. Okay, and then you can alternate hands, just do it just naturally, so both hands will be going. So now the mind gets confused and you just do the movement and feel it, that's all. Just feel the body moving in space. Feel the inside of the body, the breath. Okay, if you want to, you can slow this down, half speed. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's reduce the hand movements. And then they'll come to rest at the starting points. We'll move with the breath. And check that the body's relaxed. Body, breath, mind, chi, warmth and tingling. Okay, very good. All right, well, let's go ahead and bring up our chair or stool cushion. Okay, so this is a different position for the body. So just settle it into this posture. Let it get comfortable. It's just like if you've seen a dog lie down in their bed, that they'll make a few circles usually. They're kind of getting comfortable in their next position when it's going to be laying down. So we're just kind of settling into sitting. So we want to bring our attention now just to body, breath, and mind, so that we can feel the body in many different places where it meets the feet meet the floor, the butt meets the stool, the skin touches the air. We can feel it on the outside. We can feel it on the inside. On the inside, it's warm and it's tingling and it's moving with the breath. Okay. So now, without moving the hands, let's use the breath and the eyes if you want to, and to do the Qigong up the spine with the in-breath, top of the head, then down the inside front. You can do it half speed if you want. Just do it with the breath. Okay, and then let that go and just feel the breath, the body moving, and the tingling and the warmth. Okay, now with the out breath, we're going to exhale. We're going to expand the field. That is the tingling that's within the body. We're going to move that out in all directions. It goes right through the skin. In breath, come back in. Out breath, expand. Front, back, left, right, all around. In breath, come back into the torso. Okay, so this is the expanded space of awareness. It's what the Buddha called the breath body, bigger than the physical body. Okay. All right, so this is the space in which we're going to enact the meditation practice. So we're visualizing this goodwill, loving kindness, love, whatever word you want to use. We're visualizing that as chi. So we're visualizing it as tingling, warmth, and light. And first, we're focusing on ourselves. So we're just filling the body with warmth and light and love, goodness, loving kindness, and feeling that. So we're intentionally filling this body with that and feeling it. You may smile. Now, if you want to have the words, you can say, "May I be filled with loving kindness," or something to that effect. Try it without the words, though. And we're just feeling it. We're just experiencing it. What does it feel like to be filled with loving kindness? Okay, and when we breathe out, so we're sort of expanding this field. Okay, now we'll just move the practice into, may you be filled with loving kindness. So we bring in to our consciousness another being, and we're still feeling it. And when we bring that other being into this field, into the body and the mind, then now they're feeling. Okay, so that we're one with them. We're not sending them loving kindness. We're not being separate. We're bringing that person or being right into our field. And they now are being filled with loving kindness, just like we are. And they're feeling it. So they might start smiling too, or something. Who knows what they might do. So we're kind of both together in this field of metta, of loving kindness. Okay. Okay. So the field is big. So now they stay with us. They don't go away. They're still here. Okay, and then they're with us, and then now we kind of clear the field again. And now we're going to bring in another being, someone who's neutral, who we feel somewhat neutral about. Someone maybe who we barely know. And likewise, we breathe them into the field with the in-breath. And now they're in the field too with us. And they're feeling it. If you want words, then now it's may you be filled with loving kindness, or may we be filled. Okay, so now, so they're part of the field. They're in this expanded space. Okay, and they can stay. They kind of go to the backstage, but they can stay. And then we clear the field again. Just let it clear. Okay, and now we don't bring in the worst person in the world. Just someone who maybe you're a bit at odds with, or someone from your past or your present, someone who's been a little difficult, someone maybe you disagree with, um, and then the same process. Others may show up. Okay, so now they come in and they kind of now they move around to the back, and the field clears. And you can, if your body's getting a little stiff, move it around a little if you want to. Okay. And now we can bring in people we don't know. For instance, we could bring in victims of the earthquake, people who are suffering war or famine. We can bring in groups of people, or um, an extended circle of people. So may they be filled, if you want words. And then otherwise, you just bring them in, because the space of the heart is very, very big. It can hold multitudes. And we're wishing them well. Okay. Now, if you'd like to expand the practice from here, then you go to everybody everywhere, or you could start with everybody in America, and then have it get bigger, or everybody in the world. That would be another level. Then from there you can go to all beings, which includes non-human. And then if you want to go beyond that, you can go to um, all beings known and unknown, seen and unseen, physical and non-physical, in this world and all worlds. So it can just keep expanding. So we'll just sit quietly for a few minutes, and you can take this as far as you want to, or you can go back to yourself, or you can go back to one of the other ones we've already done. Okay, let's take a few more breaths. And then we just sort of empty the field. So all the images, all the people, they can remain if you like. It doesn't. It's fine. Um, but we just want to sort of breathe out and just sort of just empty, and then come back to the sensations of the body and the breath. Okay, very good. So now we'll just begin to move a little bit as we do, just transition. Okay, and so if you've done metta before, you've done it many times. This might have been a little different because it takes away the me and them, and it's everyone's together in this field, in this space, this energetic space, and they're feeling what we're feeling. There's no separation. And if you like the words, if you need the words, that's fine. Without the words, it becomes more of a physical sensation, I think, because it's not engaging the thinking mind with the words. it's this image, these images, and then the presence of the sensations in the body. So it's a little different method of doing that practice. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our closing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much for your presence, for your practice. And if you'd like to exit the Zoom, please do. And if you'd like to stay a little bit, then we can do that too.